Jeanette, get on YouTube, Mama.
Hello, assalamu alaikum, and welcome. My name is Omar. You've probably seen me doing different shows. Today, we're doing a special show. Actually, Zana here, a good connection of mine, her idea to talk about Ramadan and what it means to us. And we have a special series, 4 episodes in Ramadan. It started some people the 19th, some people the 18th. It's a holy time where Muslims reflect, where they fast, they don't eat food and drinks, and it's more about spirituality and becoming a better person. And we have a special guest, Nadia. She'll talk more about herself in a bit. But Zana, my co-host, assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the program. Thank you for this idea.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And thank you. Great for having Dr. Nadia with us and you, Omar. So I thought because we cross paths many times and we're on different shows to say, hey, why don't we reflect and talk about Ramadan and just have these series and have some guests. So for me, Ramadan is beyond fasting. Ramadan is really about spiritual growth for me. It slows us down, it resets us, it teaches patience, it, it deepens gratitude. I'm sorry, hold on. It deepens gratitude, but it reminds us to control our words, right? To pause before reacting. It's a spiritual training actually. So it disciplined with intention. So it brings clarity about what really matters in our lives.
Amazing, amazing. That's awesome. That's awesome that you're doing this. And yes, we have a guest next week and for the next 4 weeks. But let's go ahead and talk about more about our guest here, Nadia. I don't want to mispronounce your last name, but you'll be the one to do that for us. You started, and let's talk about a little bit about that, and then we get into the topic of Ramadan within a minute or two. Nadia, assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the program.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Well, thank you. It's great to be with you, and it's great to be here. Yeah, and just my name is Nadia. If you want to say it in Arabic, it's Katranji, but if you want to say it in English, it's Nadia Katranji.
Amazing.
Katranji. We were trying to say your
Katranji, exactly.
I like it.
Right.
Thank you.
Awesome. Somebody here saying hello here. Okay. So I guess we can get to the topic here. If Zana, you want to start with one of the questions, or Nadia, you want to start by just giving us a little bit background about, I guess, some Islamic background about Ramadan kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also,
so go ahead, Zana.
And also what Ramadan means personally to you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I'm going to start. I actually want to go off of what you are saying, Zana, as you started, because really you highlighted the main takeaways, and it's good to kind of get to know where all of what you're saying came from or comes from, as it's grounded in the Quran or in our faith and where it's coming from. So I think the most important thing is to kind of take a moment and zoom out a little bit and understand the whole intention and the whole purpose of Islam, the whole purpose of actually the monotheistic religion is that it's to provide peace and to provide contentment for the human being. That's what it's about.
It's
right.
True. That's beautiful.
And if you want to look at it, for that to happen, a lot of the times we live as an individual in one dimension, if you will, to call it. And for us to be able to really arrive and be at peace and have that contentment is to have two other dimensions added to it. One dimension is in our connection with our source, with our creator, with the core. And the other dimension is with the people. So without these two, we're just actually lacking. We're not living fully. And there is some lack of harmony. There needs to be a synergy in these three dimensions for us to be at peace and to feel at peace. And that's why if you look at the 5 pillars of Islam, it's all anchored in expanding on these dimensions. And that's why they were made mandatory by God for us, because it's just like you got to get that bare minimum to actually operate as a full human being with your full capacity, and in a way where you have harmony in with yourself and within your surroundings. So
Wow, that
that,
is beautiful. So we
yeah,
definitely need those dimensions and those pillars in life.
totally, absolutely. And what's so beautiful, just like how, if you kind of look at it from in a human standpoint, just like how we're taking care of ourselves physically, there's the spiritual element that you were mentioning, Zana, which is actually as important to take care of. And this is where these two other dimensions actually grow. Like that's where they're anchored. And the way you grow them, again, just like how we take care of these things physically, it's the same for our spirituality. There is on a daily basis, there's a practice on a daily basis to actually nourish yourself on a weekly basis and on a month and a yearly basis, right? Which, when it comes to the first one, the daily, it's like your 5 daily prayers, where you're kind of like, as you're living life and things are hitting,
Yeah.
how can you realign? How can you bring yourself back? Right. And the weekly is that Jummah, that time of Friday, where there's the sermon where we come all together and we have that time where just like reflect on the words that are being said. And then the annual one, which is Ramadan, which is what we're talking about. This is kind of like more of a spiritual boot camp, if you will, to call it. Right.
Yeah,
It's
it's
that
like a
what you,
reset. It's like
it's
training to
exact
training of the soul, right?
exactly. It's that's the aspect of being able to really delve into, as you said, like giving myself more of a deeper cleanse, or more of a deeper
Yes.
connection, more of a deeper aspect to it. So that's why Ramadan is so important. And again, I love how you basically hit all the aspects, like with your experience. This is how you experience it, and that is so
Yes.
true.
Yes. And then
So
how would non-Muslims translate this into like a simple words? Like, for example, you said we have the daily,
mhm,
and the daily is about reflection, the 5 times that we pray, correct?
mhm,
And
mhm,
then we will have the weekly, the
mhm,
Jummah, our special day Friday that we
mhm,
all come as unity and we pray. And then
mhm,
we have the yearly one that
mhm.
we all come. I believe everybody around the world, all people, we are all united when we are fasting, right? It's just,
It's
it's so beautiful.
phenomenal.
It's so beautiful.
Exactly.
That's
It's
why I was
like,
like,
yeah, it's like you're not going to one location, yet you are together. Like, you know what I mean? It's
yeah,
amazing to
for
see
me
how
that's
throughout the world.
healing. So how would we explain non-Muslims uh about Ramadan?
Yeah. So if I were to, again, as I said, if you want to look at it, this is, by the way, the spiritual practice is a unanimous practice. Like, even if it's, you might see it in many other forms, but in Islam, it's structured in a way that's actually very, very really directly given from the divine, knowledge. That's
Yeah.
what's beautiful
Yeah.
about it. But it's a spiritual practice, is a spiritual practice, if you think about it. There are three aspects in Ramadan that actually expand that spiritual practice. The first one is the passive one, where you withhold, right? Where you let your, physical, psychological, psyche, all of these kinds of things take a little bit of a backseat and allow for your spiritual aspect to dominate a
It-
bit more, to kind of come to the forefront. So that happens through stopping eating and sexual activities from dawn to
the evening.
sunset.
Hmm.
And then you have the other one, you have like stop gossiping, because you can't gossip. You can't have these bad characters or lie or do,
Yes.
foul words while you're fasting, because their fasting will be null if you do that. There's
It's
the
true.
aspect of stopping arguments, and all of these are backed. Like, in the Quran mentioned that if you're doing that, you're really, it's not gonna, it won't work for you to have your fasting be valid. So that's the passive one, and the withholding one. And I'm gonna say it very honestly, it's not an easy one. I know some people are like, yeah, it's, and for me, guys, like, fasting, honestly, like, it's not easy.
No,
I
it's not.
can do what, yeah, I
Yes.
can do water fast, no problem. But here in Arizona, fasting, like, really, all of it, it's just like it drains you. But what's nice about it is that it gives that stamina for you, that discipline for you, that
Yeah.
perseverance for you, that takes it to the next
Exactly.
level.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
I
say,
love how you say
so it
that.
doesn't take a training, Nadia, for somebody. So say, let's say somebody learned about it or says, because I've had people in college, they said, "Oh, you
Mm,
that's easy. I never eat breakfast anyway. I never eat lunch."
mhm.
Um, what would be a good training for somebody who's maybe interested in trying a day or two? I tell people, my dentist or whatever, I would tell them, but I mean, street, even in college, give them dawah about invitation about this. What would be a good training for them to start?
Well, honestly, I mean, honestly, it's not, I don't know if it's a training. The only training that I would say is basically if you want to withhold a little bit from eating and drinking water. Fasting, see, the wet fast, the water, with no with no eating, but
Fluids.
just on
Mm-hmm.
fluids, it's easy. It's
Yeah.
easier. Let's put it this way.
Easier,
Like,
yeah.
it's
Like the
easier.
intermittent fasting and all that.
Exactly. All of these
Yes,
things that
those are
we've been
easier.
doing. So you could start with that. And then if you want to take it up a notch, and by the way, with physically, they even doctors are talking about the dry fast being even more important for you, more healing for your own physical body, like physically. We're not talking about spiritually. So the only thing I would say is just take it gradually. And as to your point, I know a lot of people who were just like fasting with their friends, who are Muslims, and they just want to be with them, or they want to try it out, or they're kind of like
Yes, there's a lot of people like that, which I really appreciate. They do it with their friends. So,
I think she
and
froze.
non-Muslims.
I think she froze there. But she'll be back. Yeah, that's a good point there. I'm sure she's going to come back there. I guess we can talk about some experiences that you've had in terms
Well,
of.
yeah,
Yeah,
I could talk to you about how do Ramadan and leadership connect. Oh, we have her
she's
back.
back.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I was just saying it's a of just like as it adjusting to it and kind of like doing it gradually.
I think your connection, if you don't
Okay,
mind checking it or
are you
refreshing
guys
your
here?
connection. Yeah, your connection. I think is it good now? Yeah, I think I hear you now.
It's
But
good. Yeah, it's good.
yeah. So my question was, why should non-Muslim care about Ramadan? And I would feel like what we talked about is I would feel that is about universal values because what we have there is discipline,
Exactly.
right? We have discipline,
So
gratitude, empathy, right?
yeah, totally. And what I would say to it, what we're just like saying is that we just mentioned the first level, which is basically the passive one, where you kind of like allow your soul to come close. And since you're
Yes.
talking about spiritual, about universal values, this is a practice. The fasting and the withholding from your physical needs is something that is universally done through any
Yes.
spiritual
Yes.
practices. Like you can go to the gurus in Buddhism, or you can go to any
Yes.
places of
Yes.
the
Exactly. Those principles, I believe, apply to everybody.
Yeah, and then in other religions too, they do have the
Yes.
concept of not
I
eating and
I'm
fasting
so
as well.
sorry.
The connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
I don't know what's going on.
no, I think you're back now. But what I was saying while you were there for a little bit is that the other religions also have a concept of fasting. So they have the idea, you were saying the Buddhisms and they have a different
Exactly.
type. And so it's very healthy in terms of that. And then you feel
Yeah,
better. Even the first day,
exactly.
I'm not sure because I'm spiritual or whatever, but I feel good when I
Yeah,
fast. Like it's easy, but yeah, definitely.
totally. Yeah, totally. And adding to it, the next element, which is like, so there's not only the passive one, but there's also the nourishing element, which is when while you're fasting, you do a lot of prayer, a lot of mentioning God, a lot of reading Quran, all of these kinds of things. And again, as a non-Muslim, you can have other versions of it, but it falls on the same thing. You know how people, for instance, I'm just mentioning Buddhism because this is kind of like now becoming very common, where people, for instance, have silence, like practice silence, practice the Zen way of doing things. So these are very, very important, like really connecting to your core and to have that time of social, spiritual nourishment. So that's another layer to the aspect
Yeah,
of
that is such
Ramadan.
an important reminder. Yeah.
So that's interesting. When you mentioned about fasting from no talking, didn't Maryam alayhi salam, she also fasted
Mhm.
for not eating, right? For not talking.
Maryam,
The
yep, yep,
mother of Jesus, who is
yep, exactly,
high
Mary.
in Islam, right? And that's something that a lot
That's
of
going to be a
non-Muslims
hard one.
know. Yes, exactly.
Mm.
But
Right.
Omar, that's gonna be a hard one for me, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah,
Totally.
definitely. Yeah. It depends
Oh,
on what type of talk, because we all talk. We're
Totally.
different than the people before, maybe, but it
Yeah.
takes training. A lot of it
yeah,
does take training, and then it's
it
more of a mental
does.
game kind of thing,
Yeah.
because if you talk to an average person, oh, you're not going to be eating, and then you're doing it. How do you feel good about not eating and drinking? I have to have my coffee. I have to have my tea. But then it's a training. You're used to that. The home is part of it, who you grew up with, the environment, all these people.
Yeah.
It's a try. You try it once. It's like riding a bike or driving a car. You try it
Well,
sometimes, and then you get used to it spiritually, right?
yeah, and again, this is more of God mentions it in the Quran. The reason of fasting, the reason why we do these kinds of things, is to develop the awareness and a consciousness, because that's, again, at the end of the day, that's the bottom line. That's going to have you be a full human being with the values that you're talking about, the compassion and the resilience and the empathy. That for you to develop these high level quality characters, you need to be at the core aware and
Yeah,
connected to the
awareness.
truth, connected to the reality, connected, like you're not just like living with a way of just like on autopilot and just running
Yes.
through the grind of life. No, you're actually aware. So when you are
Yeah.
aware, it's very easy for you to be this kind of person, the leadership qualities that you're talking about, or to be even fasting. Yeah, bring it. I'll do it.
Yes, yes,
It's
because you
that's
have that
what's awesome.
self-control. Yeah, that's so
Exactly.
beautiful. You have that
Exactly.
inner inside and core, the strong
Yeah.
core that you've developed from
Yeah.
speaking, from being spiritual, and then restraining from the physical eating and drinking part, and you feel good about it. I mean,
Totally.
the I think the more spiritual you are, you feel, and you're not going to need that food or drink that you crave every all day long.
As much.
You're,
Yep.
you don't need it as much. You're in this
Yep.
kind of different realm of feeling. So I don't
Yeah.
know how to explain it.
Yeah.
So I've seen it with myself throughout the years, how it was so difficult years in the past, but now it's more easier
Mm.
after life sh- sh- sends you something, or
Mm.
in your life, and then you realize what is most important,
So
right?
Definitely.
true.
I
So
want to
true.
put a clip, a 30-second clip, real quick. We're almost there. We've got 12 more minutes here for the program, and we'll be back with you guys shortly.
Ramadan brings a quiet, holy peace, a time for deep, personal reflection. Every quiet moment holds a prayer. Shared faith connects our grateful hearts, finding light within the inner stillness. A month of beautiful spiritual growth.
All right. Thank you for that. We are
Oh,
back.
that was beautiful.
Sister
Yeah.
Zana and Sister Nadia here. She is in Arizona, and Zana is all the way in New Jersey. We're talking about
Oh,
Ramadan and the importance of
Yes.
Ramadan.
Oh,
And let's get to the more fun part. Like, how does Ramadan, how is it celebrated in our home? And I mean, we need more fun of it because people are like, oh, you're not eating, you're not drinking. That's not fun. But Ramadan can be fun, right? Guys, let's talk about that.
okay. So at home, Ramadan is about intention for me in my home household. We prepare meals together, we break fast together, we play together. I also teach my son not just what to do, but why we do it. So we also reflect before bed. We talk about gratitude. We talk about helping others as well, and uh, Ramadan becomes a family experience. It's builds unity in my home and awareness as well.
beautiful. I agree. I mean, I could totally add to confirm what you're saying, Zana. And I think there is an element of community in Ramadan and family.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, definitely the aspect we've developed along the years with my family, with my husband, my kids, some practices that we just like love and we yearn for. One of them, actually, when the beginning of Ramadan, like at night, right, the night before Ramadan starts, that so we make sure that we're sitting together before sunset. and we're kind of like intentionally welcoming Ramadan together. Like say
Oh,
whatever
that's
we want to say. What are we bringing this Ramadan? And we just like celebrate the beginning, and the last evening of Ramadan we do the same thing right before that sunset, because it's going to announce the end of it. We do the same thing. We make sure that we're sitting together and really just like reflecting. So that's something I really, really cherish, along with, as you said, the meal prepping part, like being together in the kitchen this last minute where you just have to be on
it.
time and you have to
Yeah,
just get on that table together. So that's a fun part that I really enjoy. We all kind of like
you
love the
find,
vibe of it.
yeah, you find time to cook more, right? And prepare.
Absolutely.
As like
Absolutely.
everyday life, you're like, but when Ramadan comes, you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna cook this, but you have all that time to do that. So I'm
Totally.
like, oh no,
I,
it's beautiful. The
I
meal
would
prepping
say
is
for
great.
me, I mean, we get together more with the family and with community members. I mean, during the other times we're working or we're out, we don't have time to get together on the table with family and with other friends. You're invited almost every other day. That's the nice part of it, the community, the aspect. You get to see what people are doing. And so
Yeah.
that's the main thing that you miss about Ramadan. And it comes a few days earlier to every year. And so we always miss it. It's a guest, right? So I like how the
Yeah.
idea that you come
Totally.
in there and you are waiting for it. It's a guest to arrive, and then as it's
Mm.
ending, you're together waiting for the guest to leave, right? So
Oh my
Mm.
God, yeah, I
yeah,
love the
Yeah.
guests. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I
and
love.
also, yeah, go ahead, Zana. Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
No, I wanted to say, when you're talking about gathering a community, this is an aspect that, I know I love, and I know my family loves very much. And we do kind of like now have an annual thing that we do at our home, where we bring in a major, like a main community event, where we're bringing everybody to eat together and to break our fast together. And we do another one just for the youth. So we also have like something specially for them, just like we really cherish and we love. And on top of it, that ability, when we're talking about praying at night, people, Muslims love that part, because for them, it's like, I'm going there and I'm praying. And it's interesting to see how, generally speaking, people are not so enthusiastic about these things, but they would go and they would do all that prayer, because it's a time where they are with their friends and they're, hanging out together. They're having that social element. There is a special vibe to it that
Yeah,
is just
very
like
special.
really,
So beautiful. Yeah.
really love it.
Yeah, thank you. That is a beautiful. Yeah, I love what you said. That element that it's not like other months. For Ramadan is so special, and
Hmm.
you reflect of the people like you haven't spoken to, or
Hmm.
you'll gather friends and family, because we do iftars. Iftars is when you break your fast. So we do iftars in my house or outside. And I always think about the people that I care for the most, and I can, get together during the month or month or two or five. So that is what is special about it. And everybody's in the same realm, like how they
Hmm.
feel when they're breaking their
amazing. I
fast.
think we're almost coming to the end. We have a few more minutes, but let's talk about one word description of Ramadan and then a habit that we want to carry on. Zana, can you start?
So for I want to make sure, I'm intentional about what I do, just for not just Ramadan, but for everything else. So, and being intentional or with my son on specific tasks. So that's what I'm going to look forward to. And would you say one thing?
One
What's
word.
the other?
One word to describe Ramadan.
No coffee.
That's two words, but I'll take it.
No
Well, girl,
coffee.
I drink my coffee when I wake up for sahur, before we and after I eat, I break my fast. I have my 2 cups of coffee for sure.
Yeah, that's what I was like, my coffee, but it's still like restrained, we
It
don't
is.
have the coffee, so you got to be strong not to have the coffee, and I love my coffee, but that's it for me.
Yeah. Sister Nadia, what would you say?
Yeah, for me, if I want to say one word, I would say connection.
Connection. Yeah.
And the habit that I developed, and I'm developing, and I'm really going to carry up with me, because I do love to connect with people who haven't been connecting for a while, or family members, or things like that. So what I'm taking on is to call one person a day, a person that I
Oh,
haven't connected with for a while, or a person that I haven't, taught, or kind of like there might be some kind of like some lack of connection, if you will, to say, to just
yeah,
rebuild that connection. So that's what I'm taking on.
Amazing.
nice.
Amazing.
And how
I
about you,
would
Omar?
I would agree. Yeah, community would be the word because you were getting together.
Yeah, I love
We've
that
seen
word,
people that we
community.
haven't seen in a while. And that would be a good habit to continue on. I mean, I'm
Mm.
a social person. I like connecting with people, but continue and growing with other places. Get out of your comfort zone because Ramadan and fasting, you're doing something that's not comfortable. Get
True.
out this year or next year and do something you're comfortable with. Uh, Go fly to Alaska or go somewhere else. In fact, if you're even a non-Muslim watching, go visit a Muslim or a mosque and see how we are. Not like the media is watching and talking about them. That's the thing.
Mm.
And I think it's time now to get to our final reflections. Appreciate Sister Nadia for joining the program. I don't know if you want to talk about Good Tree for a bit, what you do, but your closing thoughts, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I am usually very passionate about really having people be fulfilled and connected, and having people be at peace and be happy, like truly happy, not kind of happy, conditional happy. That's what my life is about, and that's what I love to focus on so much. And the work that we do at Good Tree is really all based on that. Yes, we take it from the divine word. Yes, we take it from God because He's the source of all of that, but that's the work that we do. I am always like, what is it going to take for me to be content and for people around me to be content and happy and at peace? So I love human beings in a way that it's just because of how much I see, how much greatness I see in human beings, and I really truly see that there's so much potential in our ability to connect as people and to see that level of humanity among each other and to
Yeah,
cherish that and to enjoy it. Actually,
that is
Amazing, amazing.
beautiful. And thank you so much for being with us, and giving us
of
all this
course,
beautiful.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
been an honor.
Anna, your closing thoughts, because you're the one who came up with this idea,
Oh, I
and your
know.
closing thoughts, because we do have a line next week. We do have a guest, and the week after that, and the week after that, 4 Sundays in Ramadan, and we can talk about that later too. But your closing thoughts, because this is
Yeah.
important to have this kind of thing. I've known you
Yes.
for a couple of years now through the online, but then coming to me approaching, let's do something over Ramadan. We were skeptical in the beginning, like, yeah, let's do it because it's important. We need to get people out there to know what kind of there are white Muslims out there. There are different people don't know in Europe there's Muslims. Really, you're not from the Middle East. You're not. People need to
Yeah.
be aware. You need to be educated. That's the
Yeah.
problem.
A lot
So,
of people don't even, yeah, they don't even know that I'm Muslim. But yeah, thank you for being with us, Nadia, as well. Ramadan for me is a month of reflection, discipline, and mercy. Whether you're Muslim or just curious, our hope is that you will leave with something meaningful. A reminder to slow down, soften your heart, and reconnect what really truly matters in your life.
Beautiful.
amazing, amen. Sister Nadia, any closing thoughts for us, or if you would like to make a prayer or anything, we'd be happy
Just
to do
that
that.
may God bring love, connection, true connection and contentment to all of us, and
Yeah.
have us have those means and facilities and ways to actually make that happen. I truly believe that we can. And
Yeah.
thank
Definitely.
you for hosting, for having me with you guys. It's been really great to be with you and to have this beautiful conversation. Thank you
Yeah.
so
That's beautiful.
much.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank
Next time
you.
we'll probably do it in person. I'll have to stop by the good tree.
Yeah, that's
Do that.
true.
Oh
Get
my
it
God,
started.
now
So
I'm
thank
gonna
you.
have to fly to
Yeah, you have to come
Arizona.
over here. We'll buy you.
Exactly.
You'll come over here with your
I
son.
You don't want to be
Uh,
there in
I
February.
know.
You
It's
want to come here in
wait.
Yeah, we got
February.
no snow. You gotta get out of the snow, the ice. Over there.
Yeah, and
Um,
it's gonna be snowing nice tomorrow too, so they already closed the school. So I'm like,
Oh
wow,
wow.
okay, I need a warmer place. And I love Arizona. I was there 1 year. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's awesome.
amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. So stick back next week, same time for Eastern. We have a life and recovery coach, a podcaster as well. She's in Atlanta, and so we're gonna have her as a guest. And we're booked for the 4 weeks in Ramadan, but I'm booked for my other show as well. But thank you again. Stick around, Nadia and Zana. I'm gonna end the stream in a few seconds now. Bye, everybody. Salam alaikum. Thank you for joining us again, and
Thank you.
everybody have a wonderful
Bye.
Ramadan and stay well, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.